Hey guys, it's Savannah. Welcome back to my channel. We are here today in the first episode of what I am calling the Stitchionary, where I teach you once a month how to work a new crochet stitch. This month I am teaching you the wrapped double crochet, which is a stitch that I have recently learned and I am using in my Advent projects. I wanted to teach you this stitch before I finish these patterns and release them. That way you have a reliable resource on how to work them. The wrapped double crochet looks a little bit like this. It is a fun stitch. It creates a nice, airy, lacy looking pattern without using a whole bunch of chains, which you have to keep track of. Now this stitch just uses one stitch, which is the double crochet, and it is an easy stitch to learn because of using just a basic beginner stitch. Now this stitch is a little different from a regular double crochet because you are working the wrapped double crochet around the post of a double crochet you previously worked in the same row. So while you're working around a post, unlike a front post or a back post stitch, you are not doing it in the row or round below, you are doing it in the same row. Now, if you have been following my podcast episodes, you will know that I had to search for several weeks before finding the name of this stitch because it is just a stitch that I started working on one of my projects without knowing the name of it, and I couldn't find it in any of my crochet books. But this is called a wrapped double crochet. In written patterns, it'll look, as I am using it anyway, looks double crochet, comma, WDC, or wrapped double crochet. So it has its own abbreviation, and there are some variations. From what I have seen, some people use it and work 3 double crochets around each other. If others like me will just do 1 double crochet around another. So it really depends. So when you are looking at patterns using the wrapped double crochet, be sure and look in special stitches to see how many they are telling you to do. Now this stitch is very versatile and can be used with any yarn and any hook. For the purposes of this video, so you are able to clearly see the stitch, I am using a worsted weight yarn and a 5.5mm crochet hook. Now in the description below I will be putting the abbreviation and how it looks in patterns that I'm writing, but with all that, we're going to go down below and I'll teach you how to work this stitch. Alright, I have here my worsted weight yarn, my 5.5mm crochet hook. This hook is from Leto Workshop and I absolutely love it. I already have 2 rows of regular double crochet because I want to show you the difference between the regular double crochet and the wrapped double crochet. So this is what the regular double crochet looks like. I'm sure we're all familiar with it. And I have an even number of stitches. It is best if you are doing something that is in the round for an even number. You don't have to, but it is what I prefer. But for just back and forth rows like this, even numbers still works best. So I'm going to chain 2, which is not the first stitch. And for the very first stitch, I am just going to work a double crochet as normal. Then I'm going to work another double crochet in the next stitch. And then for the wrapped double crochet, we're going to start it like normal with the yarn over, but then insert the hook in between the 2 double crochets and working behind the post of our second double crochet, pull up a loop, and then we're just going to finish the double crochet as normal. So this is what it will look like so far. And then we're going to skip the next stitch because we already have that one as the wrapped double crochet, and work a regular double crochet in the next stitch. And then yarn over, going behind and around the double crochet, pull up that third loop, and then finish the double crochet. So this is what it looks like so far, and you can already see how it creates this lacy type texture in the fabric, and it looks like the stitches are a little tall and elongated because of the wrapped double crochet. This look here is one reason I fell in love with how this looks. But we're just going to keep doing this across the row. So we're skipping this next one and working in the following stitch, and then behind and around the post of the double crochet. So you can see how it's kind of like a post stitch just in the row, because you're working around the post of the stitch. But we're going to keep doing this to the end of the row, and you'll see where it becomes not necessarily tricky, but where you want to keep counting your stitches when we get to the end here. Alright, so we have 4 stitches left. We're skipping this one, working into this one. So double crochet, wrapped double crochet, skipping this, and double crochet here. And this right here is our chain 2 from the beginning of the row, so we don't work in that. But here is just one row of it. Can you see why I love this stitch so much? It looks absolutely gorgeous. So I'm going to show you a second row in a little bit of a different way. So we chain 2 and turn, and just double crochet in this first one. But instead of double crocheting in this second stitch, we're going to skip it and do it into the third stitch. So double crochet, work around the post, and do the wrapped double crochet. So we still ended up with 3 stitches, but you can see how this second stitch aligns with the stitch directly below it. So even though we skipped this stitch, the wrapped double crochet makes it still aligned. So you don't need to stack the stitches perfectly on top of each other. And the third one is also directly aligned over the third stitch. So if we do another one, we're skipping this one and going for the following one, and then wrapped around it, and look, they're still aligning. So we're going to do that again. So we're just going to keep doing this across the row. And remember to work around and behind the post of the double crochet for your wrapped double crochet. And here's the last set, skipping this one, working into the following one. And then our last one is just a singular double crochet. And look, the stitches are stacking on top of each other at a slight angle. It is still giving it this lacy look, and they are all aligned. Now I know my edges look a little weird because of the chain 2, and this is also not blocked, but this is what you should be looking for. I'm going to work a couple more rows and show you what it'll look like when you have more than 2 rows. Alright, I've done 3 more rows, and you can see what it looks like after you really start building it up. This last row here, I alternated doing a double crochet, wrapped double crochet, and a skip one wrapped double crochet. So you can see here, there's the one right next to the first double crochet, skip to the next stitch because we already worked that, and then I skipped the following stitch and worked the double crochet, wrapped double crochet in the stitch after that. And I repeated it down the row, and you can see how that looks as well. You can see how